Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Starters Lounge. We're inside the Skyline Room, Tony Roney's Comic Vibe. I am the Dirty Deacon. We got Sherrod here. Now, we are missing a couple of men. It would be silly to not acknowledge that.
Right. It's like, hold on, 4 men and it's 2.
Well, you know, we could be twice the man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Some weird math going on
Right
here. You know, it's that new school stuff.
That's what it is, man. That's what it is.
But shout out to Will B, my man Joe Taylor. Hope to have y'all back next week.
Yeah, no doubt. Miss you guys. Hey, you know, it's an enjoyable time. You know, we do this podcast as a voice, right? Black men definitely need a voice right now. Man, you know, I am becoming surprised at how men are really beginning to connect with each other now. Just from Facebook. Like I literally got all of these men groups that just literally start popping. I don't even know who's inviting me to them. Right. And I'm just getting the invite for all these men groups. And man, they're really talking about something. You know, in these groups, they're talking about trauma. You know, they're talking about issues that they're having with dating, heterosexual and homosexual. What?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's even as I see some of those questions, I'm like, I wonder if I should respond, right? Because the men are presenting the question because, hey, I got this dilemma in my life. I'm dating this woman, or I've been doing this, or I got this going on. I'm in this business deal.
Okay.
You know, I've had this trauma. So, you know, these groups are really creating a space. For me, it's mostly black men groups.
Right.
So these groups are really creating it. It's encouraging to me.
You know what, man? I think for so long, black men have just sat back and just taken the punches and the insults and the whole nine. And what the world is not used to is us speaking up for ourselves.
Right.
And not only speaking up, but doing it in an intelligent manner.
Right.
You know, we're articulating what's wrong. We're articulating, you know, the things that we see in our community that we need to fix. You know, until we got a voice, until we exercise our power of our voice, man, we're going to always get looked over. So I'm glad brothers have finally stepped up and said, you know what, it's time to talk.
Right. You know what's funny? I'm 50 plus, and you know I'm single. I'm dating, and what I notice about most women, I mostly date black women. Right. I mean that's what I do. I had my little veer away for a little while, but I came on back. Right. And so, but what I notice most is a lot of black women, when I talk to them about, you know, dating and relationships and, you know, how I view what's going on in the dating space, they label me like I'm mad at women. You know what I mean? And it's, you know, like initially I was like, I don't really think, I mean, I love my mama, you know what I'm saying? I love my grandmama, you know, I love my sister. And so I'm like, I don't really think that I don't think I sound angry. You know, I think that accountability and, you know, having to look, you know, at what black women are really doing, you know, they've always pointed out what we were doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The bad stuff mostly. It really gets me because, man, I remember back, there was a time when black women celebrated black men. I got a man, girl. My man.
Remember the song Shantae, I Got a Man at Home?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Jill Scott said, y'all going to the club, I'm going back home to beat the high score.
Right. They say beat the high score. That's what's up. I love that.
But you know what? And so you got to look at the change in music, right? When you have the NDREs out here, brown skin, you know, big up in black men, Jill Scott, big up in black men.
Yeah.
All the Erykah Badu's and the whole 9 yards, the neo soul movement that was out for a minute was doing it. But then, you know, you had when Beyonce was dropping to the left.
Right.
You know, Blue Cantrell, taking my man's stuff, his credit card, and, you know, what's her name? Sunshine Anderson. All of these women came out with these hate black men songs.
Right.
And when I pointed this out to someone, they said, "Well, how you know it's black men?" Well, you use the N-word.
Right. And they don't mostly date white men. So who else they talking about?
And most of them, you have to. I'll address it because some of these women have justified feelings.
Sure.
You know, they like you and I have picked the wrong people.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying?
That's a revelation right there.
But the thing is,
picking the wrong person.
We picked the wrong person, but the thing is, we'll hold ourselves accountable for the people that we pick,
Right.
while they'll say, no, he tricked me.
Right.
No, he didn't trick you. He dicked you.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
He sure did.
What they say, you addicted to what the dick did.
You sure are.
So,
Dang. I got that because I've been divorced twice actually. And,
once here.
The second one, I didn't really blame myself. It was kind of a Vegas thing, you know what happens in Vegas.
Oh yeah.
But the first one, boy, I really took that one on the chin. You know.
Well, that's the one you poured into.
It was right.
Yeah.
20 years,
Yeah.
5 kids, transition from broke, right?
Okay.
Struggling, little pickup, had a little delivery service. You know, had to work all day long. Hey, come home. She was great. Had the dinner, the kids. Hey, and then as time went on, I began to make more money.
Okay.
Then we increased the lifestyle, and then, it still got good. I remember one Christmas, man, I always wanted a Tag Heuer watch. Always,
Okay.
always, always. And it was just too expensive. It's no way. I
Right,
wouldn't
right.
even let her buy me one. It's like, listen, you can't spend $1,000 on a watch.
Right.
Like, that's ridiculous. We got kids. You know what I mean? You got to be responsible. And so this one Christmas, she bought me a tag. And I'm telling you, man, I cried like a baby.
Hey, that's something you've always wanted. Though,
Oh,
man.
my God,
Hey.
right. And so, it's like when you have enough of those moments as a man, I don't know what it means as a woman, but when you have enough of those moments as a man, I think I got something. I think this is solid. I think we going. So what happens with me that I notice is I stopped doing whatever it was I was doing to have her in a space with that level of attention on me.
Oh, okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's like, she's like, oh, let me do this for my man.
Right.
Right, he's doing this,
So
whatever.
you became content.
I did, absolutely.
Okay.
I don't like the word content because, like, hey, I got up and went to work every day.
Well,
you
not
know what I'm
content
saying?
in your professional life, but you got content in your personal
Relationship,
life.
right. So, but I'm thinking, hey, we got a date night every week, right? We usually go dinner and the movies. So I guess that became complacent, right? The date night space, okay, this is what we do.
Right.
We took trips, like we traveled multiple times a year, just her and I. Just her and I. Been all up and down the East Coast, DC, Virginia, all types of stuff. Now, a lot of this stuff was business, right? I had a company, we had a company together, so we go on business trips, but it was still just me and her. Hey, when the meeting is over, we still
have
go
some
eat
fun.
and go
Right.
fuck, you know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
we still had some time. We still could go sightsee in North Carolina. We could still
Yeah.
go sightsee in New York City. So I thought that was good. You get what I'm saying? I'm thinking, dang, I'm doing it. Ain't no nigga gonna do for you what I've been doing for you. You grew up in the projects, for God's sakes. You see my mental?
Mm-hmm.
You see where I am? So when it shows up like, I don't want to be married no more, what are you talking about? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts? It sounds like you got a lot to share here.
No, you know what? I've seen guys pour into women,
Yeah.
and then I've seen those same women disregard what they're doing as this is what you're supposed to do.
Right.
And
Right.
the entitlement is there.
Yeah.
And then I've seen guys pour into women and basically tell them, shut the hell up because I'm giving you this.
Yeah.
So it could work either way. You know
right.
what I mean? And I'm not going to say everything is 100% a woman's fault. Everything is 100% a man's fault.
Right.
When you're grown, you look at the things that you are responsible for, that you have some control over,
Yeah.
and you take accountability for it, right?
Right.
And it's like, you know what you've done. You know what you didn't do.
Right.
Especially in hindsight,
For sure.
And the trick for anybody that's in a relationship is not to figure out what you've done afterwards. It's to kind of head it off at the pass, right?
Yeah.
So that you don't have these moments where you're like, damn, that's what I did.
Right.
Or damn, that's what I should have done.
Right.
And
Right.
because trust me, every man that has fell in love with anybody and has lost that love or lost that woman can, because, you know, what women don't understand is homies will get around one another and we'll kick it and we'll pour it out. And the one thing that men can do around dudes they call their brothers is be vulnerable.
Right.
And when you're vulnerable around your brothers, you can let it go. Like, bruh, yeah, I remember I had this shorty here. I screwed this up totally 100%. And all you hear is honesty inside that
Right.
room. That
Okay.
honesty. And that's what I would tell any dude right now, man. Just be honest with yourself. You know, be honest before you even get in a relationship. Is that the woman that you can see yourself with? Because, you know, we fall in love with the aesthetics first.
Right.
Or we lust the aesthetics first.
Right.
So then when we see, oh man, thick, she look good,
Right.
this, she whipped up.
Right.
All right.
And she throw a little bit of value on that. She throw a little value on that. Now you think you got something.
But then for me, it's like, you got to look at the personality of the person. You know, check her personality out. Does her personality, the inner, match the outer?
Dang.
And a lot of times those two don't go hand in hand because a lot of women out here figure, I got this figure, I got this look, I got my money, so I can be an ass. Because I was looking at a Iyanla Vanzant, and she was saying, you know, she's like, man, black women are mean, rude, unkind, and the whole nine. And when you look at it, she said educated, and it's like, when you start looking at the conversations that you have with some women, they are rude.
They are.
You know, I found myself in situations where I'm holding a conversation with a young lady, and damn what I'm saying, she cut my shit off and
Right.
started a whole new conversation. Like,
Yeah.
oh shit.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a red flag for me. Or when you're talking on the phone, and then all of a sudden you say what you say, and then she said, huh? And you're like, damn, I was just talking for like 35 minutes in a row, and
There's
shit.
something
And
right.
you know, and my thing is, if you're uninterested in our conversation, say that. You know, and a lot of black women, I hate to say it, but it has to be said. If it ain't talking about money or what you can do for them, a lot of them are not interested.
Yeah. Yeah. Man. Woo. That's tough.
Bro, it is.
You know what I'm
It
saying?
is.
Like that's legit tough. Because we don't want to necessarily paint with a broad stroke, right?
No.
You know what I mean?
Bro,
But
I know some down
but that's
sisters
what's
out there, bro.
This is the experience, right? The experience of dating in the black community, right?
But can I cut you off real quick?
Yeah.
What I'm gonna say right quick is that it might be the experience, but see, we have men out there in our community pushing this narrative like nothing's a woman's fault.
Right.
You know,
Right.
And what gets lost in all of that pandering is the simple fact that all black women are not virtuous women. You know, all black women are not loyal.
Right.
All black women are not down for the team, you know, because when you say strong and independent, those two words right there, strong, independent, means she's not a team player.
No, she's not.
Because strong means I'm strong enough to do it by myself.
Myself.
Independent means I don't work with nobody. I do this alone. So guess what? Whatever you put out in the universe, you get. I believe this wholeheartedly. When you say I'm strong and I'm independent, well, that's what you're gonna wind up being.
The universe gonna feed that, because that's what it hears.
Bruh.
It just hears strong in them, so it's gonna keep feeding it. So okay, I got that. To the point of I'm going down this road because we're going somewhere.
Okay.
But ultimately, as I am beginning to have conversations with black women that are non-romantic, right? So I'm talking to women that there's not a romantic thing
Platonic.
involved. Right, yeah. Like, I don't like that word, but yeah, platonic. And so,
Non-fucking.
okay, that's a little bit better.
It's a medical term.
It's a medical term. So, as I'm talking to women, black women, I talk to white women too, I notice that they really don't consider men. From the perspective of, well, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. Like they got a whole checklist, of what they want from a man.
And where they don't want to eat.
Right, all that,
yeah.
all that. But even for the man himself, he's got to, like we know part of the checklist. Oh, they want the guy to be tall, right? 6 foot tall. Hey, they want him to be built, 6-pack abs. Hey, they at least want him to have 6 inches. They want him to have a 6-figure income. All these sixes.
Yep.
So from a very broad stroke, in a really general sense, most women want the same guy.
But wouldn't 666 be the mark of the beast? But go ahead.
Could be.
Okay,
Well,
ahead.
the 4th 6. The 4th 6 is what cinches it for me. But hey, we get in a general sense, hey, that's what they're looking for, right?
But they're all looking for the same guy, though.
Yeah.
And that guy is only like 12% of the world.
E10.
Okay.
5.
Well,
6.
long as we know that unicorn is not in the majority.
90% of the men don't even qualify in women's eyes, right? For whatever reason. So, I've been saying this to women for years, but I guess now I'm a little bit more clear about it. I'm like, it's guys that pass you all day long. It's guys that pass you all day long. Now, love guys you work with every single day. That they would love to take you out, go on a date. They probably spoil you to death, but you can't see them. They're invisible to you, right? And I also had to get flat with there are some women that's invisible to me, right? So there are women that's invisible to men based on, like what you look for.
Right.
But in the whole grand scheme, the one thing that they have that most men don't, as I was talking to these women, is like, hey, you got a roster. You got guys that you can call or that you can text or whatever, and somebody will go take you out and feed you. Somebody go in activity with you. Somebody even come over and sleep with you. Like you got most of these bases covered. You got some kind of roster, whereas most men don't.
Most men face rejection.
Yeah.
The majority of the time.
Right. Right.
If a woman has a fat ass, I don't care what she looks like.
It don't matter.
And I'm not saying all men would hit her, but somebody will.
Right. It's enough of us out here. Like even if it's a 50% thing, it's enough men that'll see her throughout the day, and they gonna say something.
I mean, case in point, man, we're working in a plant.
Yeah.
And there are some women that come in there, man, have a nice body, but the face is not all that great.
Sure.
But when you working 12 hours, 7 days a week, and you're doing that for months in a row, whatever, she starts to become a looker.
Oh man.
And
you say you looking at that ass every day. You looking
every
at the
day.
titties.
It's like, oh man, damn. And
She
somebody
looking too bad.
gonna push up on
Yeah,
her. You know.
yeah.
But like you said, the majority of men are looked upon as no.
Ick.
Let me hit you with this. I was listening to this chick say her thing was friends with benefits, right?
Right.
The perfect friends with benefits are men you would never have as a man.
Wow.
She said that's because when it comes time and you find that guy, you can just cut him off. She said, so if you don't like guys that's under 6 feet, get your guy that's 5'9".
Man, look at that strategy.
You see what I'm saying? And she laid it all out. She's like, look, money, if he don't have any money, he could be broke as long as he's slanging good. But as soon as that guy come along with everything you want, you can cut him loose because this guy's broke.
Right.
And I was like, it's like, I listen to that on a regular basis. And then it's like, how can men not look at women and say, wow, this is a bunch of games out here?
It is.
You know, but like we were speaking earlier, folks are just not used to men finally pushing back.
Right.
Because, you got those men out there that say, oh man, that's you a lame or you a pussy if you argue with women. It's not arguing with women when you're just pushing back against the narrative.
Right. So that's been my experience.
Okay.
It's been my experience that as I express what I want, as I express what I need to be here based on 2 broken relationships, right? I'm pretty clear on what needs to happen for me to be happy in the space, right? For me to be fulfilled in the space. Like, listen, you need to have some of these things.
Right.
And if you don't have these things or you're not willing to, move in the space where we can make it really work.
Compromise.
Right. Why am I playing? Why am I doing this? Like, I'm just gonna be in it for what I can get out of it. And then when I'm gonna get out of it, hey, I'm gonna make whatever necessary move that needs to be made on my part. Like, I have to, hey, Floyd Mayweather, protect yourself at all times. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what this game is. It's protect yourself at all times. And the more women that I talk to, they have that mental. They're already protecting themselves at all times.
They already have, a lot of women already have an exit strategy.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know, when I was looking at the one video where the dude was like, damn, you put $20,000 of my money in a bank account for yourself. And she says, I don't know what you're going to do. I don't know if you're going to get up one day and leave me and this and that and the other. I'm like, wow. And dude, you could tell he probably in his mind thinking we all good.
Yeah.
In her mind.
Me.
Okay. Well, in his mind, he like what?
What? Right.
And then she said, and you crying over just $20,000? Wow. And I'm like, see, when you start listening to a lot of women speak, and I don't want men to get poisoned by the voices out here on social media, because I can guarantee you it's not the majority of women. The majority of women are silent, or the majority of women are with their man.
Right.
The majority of women are happy in their lives. So they're not bitter about anything.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
It's a small percentage.
It's this small percentage with this big platform, right?
Right.
So they're out here spewing all this hatred because these are the ones that have slept with the baller, the ball player, the deacon, the pastor, the lawyer, the everything. She's gone through the gambit of men out here, right? And she still hasn't gotten it right. Because for one, in order for you to pick the right person for you, you have to know who you are.
Right. And it's the man's fault, by the way.
It always
the doctor,
is.
the baller, the lawyer,
because
the
they tricked her.
accountant, the tax guy, right. They're all bad men.
And what these women have to realize is when you're just portraying yourself as a sex object, you will get handled like a sex object.
Okay, that's great, because that takes us to the next space. So, one of the fundamental reasons that I like this podcast is so we can bring something to men, right?
Right.
Specifically young men, but what I'm learning is that the older men can benefit as well, right? Just because, I guess as I was younger, I'm like, oh, when I get older, I'm gonna have all of this stuff I'm already gonna know and, trying to project out. But that takes to like just this point. So when you're in a space that you don't pursue women, right? So how do you come about over the course of your lifetime? How have you come about that women, you interacted? If you're not actively chasing women in the sense of going to the club, I'm going here, I'm going there, I'm at the grocery store, I'm trying to get a woman. I get that that's not how you move.
Right.
You don't move. But that's how I've moved my entire life. I've always chased women, right? I've always this, that. So this is a contrast.
Right.
So I don't exactly know what question to ask you, but I think you know what I'm asking you.
Right.
How does it happen? How do you get women?
Okay, I'm gonna put it to you this way, because I had a saying. There's three things in the world I'm not gonna chase.
Okay.
Money, women, and drinks.
Okay.
And since I don't drink anymore, that one doesn't really matter. But when I was drinking, only thing I can tell you is whenever you chase drinks with pop or whatever, you sweeten it up, and that's when you get sick from that stuff, right? Because all that carbonated bullshit, the sugar, the high fruit, all that garbage, right? I'm taking it somewhere. When you chase a woman, what happens? She doesn't respect you. When you chase a woman that is not interested in you,
right?
That's what you're doing. You're not establishing a relationship with a woman that showed you some energy back that said, man, this could be her. You went after a woman that really didn't want to, but she saw something that she may be able to get out of you.
Okay.
And it's like, man, growing up with my brother, my pops, my uncles, I'm watching them and how they move, man, and it's like they don't really chase nobody. They don't. And And my pops was just upfront. He's like, you don't have to chase a woman that's already interested in you.
Right.
You just have to be able to understand her body language, register her energy with yours.
Right.
You know, it's like, because if I look at a woman and she give me an eye contact, a certain look, you know, from there, it's like gestures, facial gestures. If she's still looking at you or whatever, that's a good chance that, I mean, she might be interested.
Right.
You know, and then I'm blunt. So if we're sitting here and a woman is sitting there and I keep looking over at her and she's staring at me, I'm just gonna be upfront and be like, what's up? Can I get it? I'm gonna ask you.
Right, you're gonna be straight with it.
Because I don't have, you know, we all say we don't have time to play the games,
Right.
but I'm not gonna waste that breath, that energy or whatever. So you showed me some, you know, some little flavor. What's up? I'm gonna holler at you.
Okay,
You
I
know?
got that.
But as far as me talking to a woman and she leaving me on read, if I text a woman and she doesn't text back, the next correspondence will be her texting me. So if it take her 4 months to text back,
Right.
you know.
Okay. So I don't feel so bad anymore, right? Because as I was going and growing and learning and dating, that's what I learned to key in on.
Yeah.
I learned to key in on to when women gave signals. Now, I am dull at times, like I am a little dense. And so women will be giving me signals and I don't really
most
read
of us
them.
are though.
Right.
You know, most of us are.
Right, self-admitted. And so based on that perspective, I've never really chased after a girl that rejected me. Right? Or somebody where it's obvious she not trying to fuck with me, right? I only really deal with the ones where I could. Okay, I see the eye contact. Okay, I got this, I got that.
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought those were lay-me-downs. I thought those were the easy ones.
No, man, you know what? When a woman shows you interest, man, I respect that woman a whole lot because to show somebody interest, you're putting yourself out there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you're putting yourself out there to be rejected.
You are.
And, you know, I think women deal with rejection worse than men do.
Oh, my God.
You know what I'm saying?
Horribly.
So we're used to it. You know, we might go up to 3 women in a day and say, it might strike out all 3 in that day. You know, it's just one
Hey, look,
of them.
you might approach 3 women and strike out 4 times. You know what I'm saying?
Bruh, it's like, it's just one of those things. And you have to have thick skin. So, you know, I can remember, man, when I was younger, man, quiet. I wouldn't say a word to a female at all, man. It's like, you know, and my brother would speak up for me. Hey, you know, my brother, whoa. You know? And, but then it's like, man, I just watching my brothers and them navigate, man, and, you know, tall, light-skinned guys. So we're like contrast.
Oh,
He's 6'3", light-skinned.
Right.
I'm
right.
5'9", dark-skinned.
Right.
You know, so I'm dealing with, you know, when I look back, I'm like, that was colorism. You know what I'm saying?
Right, it was all day.
But I'm looking at how he moves around females, and then he was just one of those dudes, man. It was like, I'm done. It's like, and I've always wondered, like I had always wondered, like, why she was nice looking. Be like, man, there's a lot of women out here. And that's how men have to look at it, man. There's more women than there are men.
Yeah,
so
by far.
And for any young man that's out here watching this, the magic number is 1.
What do you mean?
All you need is 1 woman.
I mean, in theory.
In theory.
Right? In theory.
And what I'm saying is, when you're young, and I would tell a young man, and I told my son this, I'm like, you know, I think we mess ourselves up jumping from female to female to female to female to female. And, you know, and I know a lot of men would disagree with me on this, but I think that young men should get married young. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because you can spend your life trying to grow with this one person. You know, I'm not saying just marry anybody. I'm saying put your energy into a woman that's putting it back into you. Because once you jump out here and sleep with woman after woman after woman after woman after woman, it's hard to stop.
Oh my God, right.
It's hard to stop.
Yeah, it's
So-
tough to stop that momentum.
And it's like you found the key to Nookie. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
right.
man, I can just open this door and it's here
Oh
it is. here.
man, listen, it's like hitting the jackpot. It's like pulling the slot machine, ching, 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 ching. It's like when you figure out what your specific formula is to get girls,
Yeah.
Oh man, why would I stop?
And everybody has their niche.
They do.
You know, and it's funny when if you ever hung out with the homies, y'all get women, you will see how you know, like my brother, to me, his shit was lame.
Oh, really?
It was lame, man. I was like, she went for that shit.
Dang. So what's, give me a lame example.
Man,
what would he do?
Like I said, you know, 6'3", you know, and
right.
And,
well, he don't need no game.
But hold on. Y'all was born on February the 14th. You know, so you know automatically I'm a lover.
Damn.
I'm looking at this shit like, you know, may he rest in peace, man. But I know he up in heaven looking down, cussing at me, you know. And I'm looking at him like, bruh, that was not the biggest bullshit. It worked.
Got the number. Right, got the number.
Know, and those are the things, man. It's like every man has their, you just have to figure out what works for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And you gotta know who you are, what works for you. And then you gotta look at women realistically. If you see a woman over here, 9 times out of 10, if you a laid back dude, you're laid back, she drama filled. That's a no for you. Right. That's not your life, bro. Because a lot of women, you know, they're so animated. They're so just, you know what? They're propelled and fueled by the drama in their life, the negativity.
Sure.
Right? They got to be in everything. They can't sit down. Got to be at every social event. You know, if you're not that kind of person, don't do it.
Oh, okay.
If you don't go to church,
outgoing,
extrovert. Man, if you lay back, you know what? I met the gamers that was telling. I met some gamers up at Micro Center.
Okay.
And it was just sitting there, man, watching the couples walk in.
Right.
That are gamers together.
Oh.
Black, white, the whole nine. And when I listen to women talk shit about men that play video games, it's just as many women that play video games
as it is men.
Because
right.
Guess what? It's gender neutral.
It is. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
right. It is. That's that's interesting. So you read women cues, right?
I have to.
And then you had the benefit of uncles, brothers, friends of watching them get on girls
and get rejected.
Right,
you know,
right. Deal with that. So you're getting so you got a more realistic idea of what the game, right? What the game was. It's like, oh, okay, I have to do this. Okay, I'm gonna get rejected. So I always avoided the rejection. So that was the way. So that's what I'm saying. Like we have such different spaces on, on how to get to women, and I think it's a benefit because. At the end of the day, you still were reading women's cues, so it becomes about, is it that you were just taught, that you saw it, or the engagement? Like, how did you get good with the cues?
Okay, old man said this, I can give you knowledge, but you got to turn it into wisdom. So you can learn the game all day long, right? You can learn it. They can tell you the whole 9 yards, but you got to go out and try to make it work. That becomes experience.
Right.
Once you gain experience at something, that levels you up.
It does.
And the rejections level you up.
Okay.
So you're like, okay, what did I say? And I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I've always thought and said to myself, hey, if I can make that ass giggle, I can make that ass wiggle. And
this thing got a million sayings. We're gonna put that on the t-shirt.
Women love to laugh.
They do.
They do love to laugh. And if you notice, the majority of women try to avoid laughing. See, laughing opens you up.
It does.
Laughter is one of them things, man, where if I catch you laughing, I see the pretty side of you.
Right.
Once you show the pretty side of you and you open up, I'm coming in. You know, like vampires.
Right.
I can't come in until you invite me in, right?
Wow.
Right.
Look at that. Okay.
So now, when women smile, like black women, when black women smile, they are some of the most gorgeous women on the planet.
All day.
But when they're not smiling, they look like some of the most hateful, evil women on. So it's like, and then trying to get them to open up after they have fucked themselves so many times in so many relationships, that's hard.
It is.
And what I tell young men, don't try to love a woman through her hurt and her pain. Leave her alone.
Right.
You're going to destroy yourself doing that.
You sure will.
So that whole saying for me, That's why I tell any woman that I'm dealing with, yo, you know, this is my male friend at work. I don't agree with it because, see, if he knows like I know, I don't speak down on your man. I don't care how bad he's treating you.
Because that's your man.
That's your man.
Yeah.
And if I start speaking on him, all it's going to do is you're going to defend him now.
Right.
Even though you might come to me and say, oh, he did this. Just listen. All you got to do is listen. Now, what you do is you got to present yourself, your authentic self, to her. I ain't got nothing to do with your man, but I'm going to present who I am to you and see if you like the alternative better than what you have.
Right.
And then once she's around you for so long, you're doing things for her, saying nice things to her, you'll start seeing that conversation go from platonic to opening up to becoming
romantic.
Freaky,
right? Okay.
Romantic,
freaky.
You know, you'll start getting that other side of her, and I've done that so many times. So that's why when women say, "What's wrong with having male friends?" Because most males are not trying to be your friend to be your friend. They're trying to be your friend to get in.
Right? They waiting.
You know, they're trying to crack that ass open.
But the women know this.
They're not stupid. They're not
right,
stupid.
right. They're
because
not
guess
naive.
what? Most men will say something to you sexual anyway, just to see how you'll respond.
Right. I'm trying even still with women that I talk to, it's like, hey, I'm not gonna take the sexual tension off the flow. Right, the sexual tension is still gonna stay there because I'm a man.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that tension to me is a requirement, right? That requirement to really get whatever's going on here, a little bit of tension in the space keeps both parties honest. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, because you know what I want. I want to hit this ass, but if I got to be your friend, I'll just be your friend.
Right,
but
right.
If that ass come open, I'm going in.
Right. So you say when it come open. So you learn how to read cues from women, right? Mm-hmm. And so now you go from reading cues, you got the interest, you got a phone number. How do you deal with this? Calling, texting, sliding in the DMs, social media.
Well, I'm not sliding in no DM.
Okay, so no DM sliding.
No, I'm not sliding in nobody's DM. I'm not doing that. And as far as conversation goes, I'm gonna call you.
Okay.
And then,
are you texting? Are you a texter at all?
Well, you know what? I'm gonna text you, and I'm gonna break all the rules these females are talking about, like what you're doing. Because to me, when I text you, hey, how you doing? How was your day? What you doing? See, I'm trying to ask you what you're doing in consideration of what you may be doing. You may be at work. You may have your children.
So you consider.
Yeah.
Right. But women don't. That's what I contend. Women don't consider men.
No.
So that's kind of the first breakaway right there is like, hey, you're in consideration. So I get that on the text. So that's how you move with the text. So how do you do on the call? So you make the phone call.
Okay, I make the phone call, and then it's basically general conversation. I don't have to talk about sex because I'm gonna be totally honest with you. After the third, fourth, fifth conversation that we have, I know I'm gonna get it anyway. I don't ever have to.
So okay, hold on. All right. So now you got phone cues.
Right.
Okay, so can you give a few phone cues? What do you know? Maybe it doesn't happen on the first conversation, or maybe it does, but these conversations, what are the cues that you're hearing?
You know what? When she's consistent with the conversation, if I can call and she pick up, or she call or I call and just say she doesn't, but then she texts back, hey, give me a minute. If she's giving you some response in a decent time frame, that's you, okay, I'm making headway.
Right.
Now, just say y'all talking regularly. If y'all talking regularly.
So you mean like daily?
Yeah, daily.
Multiple times a day?
You know what? It depends on what your time is, because you may have a job where you can talk. You may not have a job, hey, babe, I can't do this, And when she's understanding of what it is you do,
right?
And so, hey, call me at this time, I'll call you. And if she's making time for you now, hey, usually I go to sleep about 9, but you get off at 10, just to hear your voice. Boom.
Yeah. Consider it.
Okay,
got that.
So once she becomes considerate of you, once she start thinking about you, hey, she might hit you with a text.
Right.
Out the blue. Hey, just want to see how you was doing. Boom.
Right. That's when you respond.
And I respond, and But my thing is, I leave sex off the table. You know, because
Well, so I mean, you got to be like, when you say leave sex off the table, like, what do you mean? Are you not approaching the sex question or the sex area at all?
no, because if I don't want a woman to approach the money question, you know what I'm saying? Because if you take money and sex off the table, most relationships are done.
Wow.
If you take both of those away, women are gonna lose interest in most men that they're with, because most men that they're with is not the dude.
Right.
You know, he just either was ready for the commitment she wanted or had what she wanted that the other guy didn't have.
He's just a spot holder.
Right.
Essentially.
All he doing is just, he's a bed warmer.
His turn.
Right. And then most guys, if you take away the sex, that's just a thick body walking across the room. If I can't, that's like me having a Rolls Royce and no keys to it.
Oh my God. Right.
You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I can
So-
only look at it for so long.
Right. So I might as well sell it, get rid of it.
Right.
So
oh,
yeah,
get rid of it.
I mean, it's not doing me any good.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
And for me, it's just like, just communicating with folks, man. When you can communicate with a woman on a regular basis, you kind of feel the energy shifting. Pay attention to her. You know what I'm saying? Because in the beginning,
Again, but you read cues though. So you got to you're good at reading cues. So 20 years ago, right? 25 years ago, whatever, when you weren't as good at reading cues.
I was just fucking 25 years ago. It was serious. I mean, if I'm gonna be blunt.
So what
about
was
it.
the approach? Was it still the same? You could still read?
No, I'm just blunt. I'm like, hey, what's up? What's good for the night and this and that and the other.
Oh, okay.
You know?
So you just went straight
Man,
to who you wanted to go to.
I was a young dude. I was wild, rolling with a clique of dudes the same as me.
Okay.
And
okay.
the whole object of going out that night was getting some ass, right? But it was still, I'm not chasing you. I'm gonna
So
ask
you still didn't chase. Right. Okay, I got
Because
that.
if you reject me, if you say no, I'm moving on to the next one. I'm gonna take me and my drink to someplace else.
Right. So, how does this Sherrard talk to that Sherrard? What do you tell that Sherrard?
Well, I would tell that Sherrod to get off the drinking, right? Because
What's the immediate benefit? That young Sherrard, what's his immediate benefit of getting off the drink?
because I was sexually irresponsible and had children with women I should not have had children with.
Okay. So your lifestyle was
Oh
irresponsible.
man, my lifestyle was suicidal.
So is getting off the drink can impact it like that?
Yeah, because see,
How often were you drinking?
Oh man, I woke up with a 40, went to bed with a fifth, and yo bitch.
Damn.
That was my whole
That was the
motto.
day.
That was my day.
How'd you get money? You just figured out how to get money throughout the day?
I've
Did you have a
always
job?
I've always had a job, but I've always hustled too.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
so it wasn't
Welcome
like I
to
was
Detroit, right?
Yeah, it wasn't like I was some major baller or whatever. But
Right.
it's like what Uncle Sam take, I just make back in the streets.
So hey, essentially you're a regular earning income
That's
guy,
it. That's
right?
it.
I
That's
mean,
it.
not nothing special. You ain't six figure in it. You know, you ain't riding around in Porsches and
No,
all
man,
that Mercedes.
I had Caprice Classics.
Dang. Okay. And so this Sherrard tells young Sherrard, hey,
Slow
lay
down.
off the drinks.
Slow down, bro.
Okay. What's
Slow
the
down.
next piece?
Slow down. And I tell them that it gets greater later. And it may not be greater as far as the monetary part, but how you look at life.
Right.
You know, because, you know, in my head, I wasn't supposed to see 25 in the first place.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I was just,
See, mine was 35.
see,
I didn't think I was gonna get past
and
35.
see what most women, and they don't realize, in our head, we have an expiration date.
Right.
At least I had one.
Right.
And so I did what I did because fuck it, I wasn't gonna be here anyway.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, fuck it, I'm gonna sleep with you.
Right.
And before I chase a dime, I'm gonna fuck 3 threes in that one. I still get my dick wet, still getting a nut.
Dang, 3 threes and a 1.
You know what I'm saying?
I just got that one.
You know what I'm saying? So why should I waste my time with her who's gonna play games, want me to spend all this kind of money on her, take her here, this and that and the other, when these chicks right here wanna do it right now?
Dang, man. I'm told. So, whereas I thought that we were so different, we really not.
Nah, bro,
because I had the same mentor. My mentor was like, man, I'm not about to mess with these good-looking chicks, these fine, bop, bop, bop. Well, I had a self-esteem thing because I was always fat. So I was the fat kid. So
Okay.
I didn't want to deal with the rejection of just even going up and talking to the pretty girl was intimidating to me. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want none of that scene. And so I just found the girl that works for me. And I just found a type of girl. After a while, I began to notice it was more mental than it was how they physically looked. So once I began to learn, like, oh, this is like a mental breakdown, now the type of woman I could talk to, it actually
I like smart girls
opened it
anyway,
up.
though.
I mean, I do too, but there's still something. So beyond the intelligence, beyond their spiritual, whatever they got going on in those spaces, you kind of can understand that we all have some areas of life that's not working well.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Okay, yeah.
And so when I could learn how to talk and have conversations around areas of their life, what I got early on, like in my early 20s, was I would just let women talk. I would be like, if I just listen long enough to what they have to say, they'll tell me everything I need to know.
And that's what you should do still.
Right, okay.
Just let them talk, because the majority of women that I've come across, especially in this day and time, this modern day, they want to talk about themselves and their accomplishments anyway.
Well, you know everybody's favorite subject.
Is themselves.
Yeah, all day.
So it's like,
Yeah.
I'll sit and listen to you, and I'll give you the audience you want to have.
Okay.
Now, in listening, I want to know, where do I fit in all of what you're doing? And once I realize that I don't fit, just say I don't fit romantically with her.
Right.
And I can see this off the rip. I'm cool with being cool with you.
What would be a non-romantic fit for you? Would it be her body? Would it be her thought process? Would it be how she dresses?
No,
attitude?
those are some things. Attitude's one, you know.
What attitude turns you off?
You
like
know what?
Immediate. Like, what's an instant turn off attitude?
You know what? This whole boss bitch shit. You know, and it's like, y'all do realize that money don't make you a better person.
No, it actually reveals who you actually
Yeah,
are.
so
right?
it just lets everybody, like you said, it reveals who you are.
Right.
And it's like, it removes the veil.
It does.
And
Ooh,
so
that's a better one, yeah.
So just like money does, when a person goes from being fat
Just skinny.
to the body looking better,
Yeah.
you know, those things like that, when a person gets an education, you're like, oh, so you think you know more than, man, I've dealt with a plethora of women that are educated, and then when you start talking to some of them, it's like, okay, you got a degree in hot sauceology, but now you think you know everything.
Right.
And it's like, okay. And that's a turn off in and of itself. And the attitude, like you said, the attitudes, I don't want a woman that's gonna sit around here and dress showing any and everybody their goods.
Right.
I mean, I don't mind another man's woman dressing like that. I'm a look. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if your woman dressed like a hoe. I don't want mine dressing like that,
Right.
though. And
Is that more you or more respect for herself?
no, that shows me she doesn't have respect for herself.
Oh.
And if you don't respect yourself, why should I? And now you got to represent me when you go out, just like I got to represent you. So
I don't think there's is that a legitimate concern? Are women legitimately concerned about how their man looks when they go out?
no, fuck no.
Right. This is only a concern for us.
Certain women.
Right.
Certain women, because I mean, I've spoken with women, I've been with women that don't dress like that at all. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, strapped up. And if they wanted to go out looking like that, they could, and just have all types of attention. And like I've told women time and time again, you can cover up all you want to. I still know what you got.
Wow.
Just the way you can wear something loose fitting, right?
Right.
When you come through walking and you got an ass, that back of that shirt gonna sit on top of that ass. You know what I'm saying?
all the cues.
You know
This
what I'm
nigga
saying?
knows all the cues, right?
You know, you look at
tips
those
and
things,
tricks. Tips and
bruh.
tricks.
So them trying to hide themselves in clothes is cool. I like that, because it's one of them things where she knows what she got.
Right.
She knows it.
But you don't.
But I'm not going to. I work in gyms all the time, right?
Okay.
Man, literally, this is what you see as soon as you walk in the gym. Ass up in the shorts. I mean, shorts up in the ass. Coochie prints. Nipples.
What?
And then for the vast majority of the women that walk in with long shirts, they'll tie them up in the back so you can see their ass.
Wow.
And it's like, after a while, you become desensitized to it. You know, and then me and one of the young cats was in there talking. He was like, man, I know you really like what you do. Not really. I mean, it's a job. That's all it is. It pays the bills.
Right.
I said, but as far as you thinking this is a perk that I see women, nah, bro. It's like, coochie is coochie.
Right.
You know, pussy is not special at all. It should be the person that's special.
Wow.
You know,
right.
so if I can't respect the person, the pussy doesn't mean nothing.
Okay, I got that. All right.
And too many women lead with that.
Well, what other value do they have to offer? Because at the end of the day,
Those type of women, whatever.
Well, I think this is why, you know, we was talking earlier where I think that there's not much choice, right? Because their value is them.
That's what they've been taught.
Well, you don't know any other value that they have until they open their mouth. Right? You can read some stuff, or they got a little car, or they got, I mean, not a little car, but they got a nice car.
That's why it's no love at first sight. It's all lust. There's no, I mean, I fell in love with her. No, you lusted. You want to fuck her real bad. That's all it was. The intensity that she, you know, that.
Because there's no way you could have created anything else around the space, right? Like, especially if you're meeting somebody for the first time.
What do you love? You love the way she looks, so that's lust.
And the man to the woman has to bring his value. Because you may not be aesthetically pleasing to her, but you can still get her, but hey, you have to.
Put it this way. You can become the Ben Wallace of your relationship, right? You may not have been drafted by her in the first round, but you can become a stellar dude to the point where she's like, because see, this is what I believe is what's wrong with a lot of women is that they listen to their friends talk about the guys that they have, right? So she may bring me around and then her friends will tell, because I had a chick tell me, one of her girlfriends told her like, oh, he don't make enough money. Oh, he don't do this, he don't do that. And it's like, you know what? I'm gonna put it to you this way. I know a lot of dudes that make a lot of money, but wouldn't do shit for you if you got slapped in the face by a dude out in the street.
Wow.
Now, there's never been a woman that I've ever been with that's ever been on my arm at any place, at any time, whether we were platonic or in a romantic relationship, that would say, hey, when I was out with Sherrod, I was worried. Because when you're up under my umbrella, you're up under my umbrella. Right? And that's like, they don't realize when men are out, when we're out together, like when you and I are out, you know, we go out this building. You my homie.
Yeah. Right.
And you okay, Ed, I mean, is this something we should
right, do we need to handle this?
Is this a physical altercation that we must deal with? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, if I'm with you, I'm with you.
Right.
And you know, and that's gotten me into trouble over the years, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But at the same time, I've always been loyal to my word.
Integrity.
You know? I'm not loyal to you, I'm loyal to my word.
I said I was gonna do this.
And if I said I'm gonna do it, this is what I'm gonna do. So that's what a lot of women don't realize. You know, y'all want the man that has the money to trick on you or whatever, but will that man lay down his everything for you?
Well, I don't know that there is value in that, even though that's an expectation. You know, women look for protection.
It's not valued by these women. You can tell because it's not one of the core things that's up there.
Well, listen, their man is the police. Yeah, I mean, fundamentally, at the end of the day, most women are single moms, especially inside the culture. And so with as many single moms out here, me and my son, we watch the little cop shows and stuff all the time, like Cops. And, you know, what you'll notice is when black women call the police, they own whatever they own till the police get there. When the police get there, it goes way up.
Or they become this vulnerable victim when in the beginning, they were just talking mad shit. I'll fuck you up. I'll do this. I'll get my brother to do boo, boo, boo. But then when the police come, oh, man, you scared. I'm so afraid.
Right. The dynamics
You're just threatening my life.
Right. The dynamics totally alter. So from that space, you know, really, hey, the police, I see the police, the firemen.
The police and the government.
Right, that's ultimately their man. And so,
well, and I hate that we have to do this, but we're in that climate where you have to explain who that group is, because there's a group of women out there that specifically does what you're talking about, and fortunately, I've had women in my life that were just solid, you know.
okay, hold on. So how did you find these solid type women? You still got the same thing. You reading cues, right? So this is a woman that likes you,
Right.
Right? So that's different than a woman that somebody's chasing,
Right.
Right? So now you read the cues. She likes you. She turn out to be a solid woman for you. What does solid look like?
Solid for me is she got my back when, like, if I'm going through something. For me, if I come to you because I'm a thinker, you know, and then I overanalyze shit a lot, right?
Overthinker.
I'm an overthinker, bro.
Yeah.
And when I come to you, and when I decide to open my mind up to you,
Yeah.
you've made a major step, right? So I'm speaking to you.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Because I'm not one of those.
So you're allowing them access to a part of you that most women
yeah.
won't get.
You won't get here.
Okay,
Because
okay.
it's your mind first. Your mind is the thing that's, you know, because I don't lead with feelings.
Right.
Feelings for me is like,
When do your feelings come into play? Do they?
they do.
Okay.
I mean, because, you know, there's EQ and IQ.
It's your emotional intelligence.
Emotional intelligence and just
your
regular
intelligent and quotient, right?
And
I got
then
that.
it's like, you know, you have to be able to use them, turn them on and turn them off. That's just, for me, that's how it is. It's like, you know, because I was actually called Charade Bot.
Really?
Yeah. And it's like, no, I'm not a robot, but what it is if it doesn't make sense to me,
Right.
I'm gonna let you know.
You say Sherrard bot, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, oh, okay, you know, that's cool. That's a funny.
So, what does Sherrard bot, if you will, what does that make available to you? Obviously, they're seeing you, they're portraying you that way, but you being that way, what does that make available for you? Hey, you're reading cues from women, you know the women that like you, when you get into certain conversations, what does it really make available for you being that way?
I mean, every woman's available to a certain extent, right? You know, every woman, because women decide whether or not you have access to them, right?
Right.
And once I'm around folks for a while, and they see me for who I am, because right now, just say a woman sees this video and you're like, he's conceited. No, it's not conceited. I just know what I've done.
Right.
I know what I can do.
Right.
And the thing is, I don't have to pretend.
No.
And if you don't like me, somebody does. You know what I'm saying?
That's true, right?
And like I told him, you know, I'm like, look, I'm not the ugliest dude in the world.
Right.
I'm not the best looking, but I'm damn sure not the ugliest.
Right.
And in knowing that, there's always an audience for me. Remember, it's like marketing 101. There's something for everybody out there.
It is.
And if I look at it that way, hey, I'm gonna give you the authentic me. If shit ain't funny, I'm not laughing at your joke. I'm not bullshitting with you, none of that. I'm not trying to to get in. You know, I've seen too many dudes do some fake shit around females, man, and that irks the shit out of me. It's like, that's a lame. And I'm not trying to win you over with what I wear, because I'm a simple dude.
Right.
You know, hey, I'm a sweatsuit wearing, t-shirt wearing dude.
Right.
You know, can I dress up? Hey, we all can.
Right.
But what I prefer to do is be comfortable, right? My sense of humor, hey, it'll rub some motherfuckers the wrong way. Do I care? Nah.
Not really, right?
Nah.
Welcome to Detroit.
Right. Like,
Right.
it's just one of those things. But,
Welcome to Detroit.
But what they get from me though is, I don't have to have sex with you in order for me. We don't have to have a romantic relationship for me to do things for you. I don't care. See, titles don't make it doesn't make any difference to me. It's your treatment of me. So if you treat me good, I'm gonna treat you good. If I can call you and say, hey, shoot me $25 real quick. I got to do such and such. You can do the same thing. Hey, Shrod, can I have $50?
Right.
Yeah, whatever. You know, that's how I treat people. I treat people based on how they treat me, not what your title is. You're not my brother, right? But if you like, hey, bro, I need $100. You know, woo. Don't ask me for $100. But like, no, but serious. If you need it, like, I'm like, damn, bro, I got you. Right. If I got it, you got it. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And that's just. A lot of times I don't understand people because they're so selfish.
By nature.
You know, they claim to, I get all of this, but then why you ain't help?
Right. It's funny because people love it when they get a raise or they make more money, you know, and all those dynamics, you know, but at the end of the day, it's your money.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like, if somebody's like, man, I know you just came into it. Yeah, I just came into it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I understand that, you know, but I do, man. So to get back to the original question, so yeah, that opens me up to a plethora of diverse women.
Right.
You know, and I can talk to you about any and everything, and that's the one thing that I love learning.
Right.
You know, and so whether you talk about physics, if you're talking about yoga, Pilates, if you're talking about engineering, you know, I've done so much in my life that, damn, it's like, hey, IT, went to school for electrical engineering, you know, so it's like, it's funny when you talk to people and they perceive you to be one way, but when you open your mouth up to them, it's like, whoa, okay. You know, it's like, I mean, I know shit. I mean, I just choose not to share with most people.
Right, I get that. Okay. All right, so we're not gonna make it to the end of your dating cycle. Right? You know, we got to the initial on, you know, what happens when, you know, you meet women, the cues, or they meet you, or the cues that you recognize. Younger, you just went straight at it. You know, there wasn't anything you suggest to the younger self, lay off the drinking, slow down. And I think the overall theme here is that you've developed, you know, a sense of how to be with women. You know, like you get which women like you. And based on that, that's how you move. So just as men, you know, out here and looking for cues or trying to figure out, you know, whatever there is to figure out, I'm like, overall, as we continue to move forward, we want to fuck women, right? We want to have sex with women.
I hope these dudes want to fuck women.
Right. Though there's too many words I can use here, but the idea is that men like to have sex. Right. And so the initial meet, you have a phone call, you get to a place. That'd probably be the next space of when you actually meet them.
Yeah, and see, there's no time frame. Because back in the day, man, I will be honest with you. If I'm not smashing within a week or two.
Oh my God, right.
I'm done.
Listen, I had to call within 48 hours.
Yeah, it's like,
I had to call, and then I had to be, in a week's time, we need to be on a date, something I need to be seeing. But again, like, hey, we didn't have these. Right. We didn't have this. So hey, when you left the house.
Hey, look, if you ain't beat me, you know, you know what I'm saying. Right. If that pager ain't going off with your number in it or a code to say come through, well, whatever. I can't miss what I never had.
Right. True that.
You know?
True that.
So you know what? But you know what? This is what I would tell any man, young or old. Before you try to establish anything about grabbing females, you got to learn who you are.
Yeah.
Learn what you like. Learn your strength, your weaknesses, and then learn how to handle rejection. That is the biggest thing. You have to be so thick-skinned, and your power of detachment has to be on par. Okay. You have to be able to let a woman go.
Right.
You know, hey, you can. Right. I don't care how much you love her. Video. I don't know if you saw it where I posted where the woman told old boy, she's like, look, hey, I'm going in another direction. And he was like, okay. And she got upset because you're not. Oh, yeah. And for me, I'm like, man, that's exactly how I would have handled it. I was like, that is the way to do it, because I'm not fighting with you,
Right.
fighting for you,
Right.
fighting over you, or I'm not gonna fight against you.
Right.
If you want to leave,
Leave. Right.
you know, there was a song about a Christmas song. It's like putting one foot in front of the other.
Right.
You could put one foot in front of the other
And keep it
and walk
going.
across the floor.
Got that. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not being hard. So I don't want women, oh, you trying to be hard. No. I'm looking out for me. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to realize, men face rejection every day. If I let every rejection get to me,
Oh man.
I'll be an
You'd be
emotional wreck.
depressed. Right. Yeah, you'd be depressed all day. Okay, all right, I got that. So, hey, develop yourself, learn how to deal with rejection.
That's it.
Right? If I guess this entire conversation
Yep.
can really boil down to those 2 points, but it's so much to develop out of those 2 points.
I mean, it's always something in between.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Totally. So, all right, man. Well, you know, I think we beat this subject to death enough tonight.
Oh yeah. You know, next week we had the fellas back with us. You know.
Right. We'll be back to 4 men again. 4 men next week. You know, we're here every Thursday. Starters Lounge, 18426 Plymouth Road, y'all. Come on through, get some steak bites, have a couple of drinks. You know, I am the Dirty Deacon. We got Sherrod hanging out here, y'all. Great conversation as usual. Excited to see where this goes next.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, excited to see where we go next.